Welcome to the video tutorial of iPractice Verbs. My name is Barbara Fernandez. I am a speech language pathologist and the creator of iPractice Verbs. My goal today is to give you an overview of how to utilize iPractice Verbs to support children's learning. Let's get started by tapping the Start Practice. And as you can see here, I have already set up 5 different players. The app allows you to add an unlimited number of players so that you can utilize this app with a number of different students if you are a speech language pathologist or a special education teacher, as well as if you have multiple children of your own. Let's go ahead and see how to add a new player. We can tap here to enter an avatar or a student photo. I'm going to go ahead and select a new profile here, and we're going to enter the name of that child. Now I have 6 players. I can select multiple students or multiple players to start an activity. Here I've selected Violet and Barbara, or I can do an individual activity with just one player. You can see the student or player named Violet is now highlighted violet. I did want to show you the settings. This settings allows you, the adult, to modify the activity and the feedback based on the child that you're using iPractice Verbs with. For example, you can do here, select either a buzz for when the child select the wrong option, or you can have that item removed. Some of the students are really avert to hearing the sound of that buzz for incorrect, so you can just remove that item. Also, we are able to modify the database. And here we can take a look at the database for the regular verbs as well as the irregular verbs. Some children aren't ready for all this vocabulary. We can deselect them all, and then we can select just 3, 4, or however many verbs you need to work with for that specific child. I'm going to go ahead and select Start now. You can see I've selected Violet. And I have 2 activities. We have the learning section, which is the flashcards. Then we have the practice section where they get to find the verb associated with whatever it was selected for the activity. Let me show you first the flashcard. In here again, you have one more option to select and deselect individual items or individual verbs. I'm going to go ahead and leave them all selected for the regular, but this particular child isn't ready for the irregular verbs, so I'm not going to select any of them. I'm going to tap Done. So as you can see, the app utilizes great photographs for giving the child a visual of that action word. If you tap on that image,
photographs,
you get to hear, the child get to listen to that action word.
dries,
And here, on the left side, you will see the present tense, present progressive. So as you tap on these different items, for example, drying, then we can go to past tense,
dried,
and they get to see that dried is the past tense of dry. If you're doing some kind of activity, for example, you can ask, what is this child doing? What did this child do yesterday? And if the child will say, he dried himself, you can mark correct. Or you can mark, he almost did it on the yellow button as an approximation. And then you can mark incorrect if you couldn't answer your question. The number of different ways that you can utilize this flashcard is really unlimited. It depends on whatever goals the child is working with, whatever skills you're trying to develop on that child. One other option we have here is the possibility of the use of that verb in a sentence and phrase.
The boy dried earlier.
And also in a sentence.
The boy already dried himself with a towel. She snapped her fingers.
One other option here is to allow that child, if they are readers, to actually read the phrase that is produced. So you can tap on the record button and you can say, get the child to either read or repeat that word in a context, in this case, a phrase. She snapped her fingers, and then we can play it back so the child can listen. Or another great idea is to get the child to create her own phrase using that particular verb. I'm gonna go through some images so you guys can take a look at what some of these look like. Then I'm gonna tap done. It takes us to the report center. We were working with Violet, and you get to see here we have stickers, cards, and certificate. I'm gonna start with generate certificate. This is a really cool certificate that you, the adult, can generate to show the child that she or he is mastering or has mastered a certain level. So for example, select mastery level for the student. The student has demonstrated an understanding of regular verbs in the present tense, and you can click generate, and it generates this really nice certificate. You can share this, either print if you have a printer that is ready to print from the iPad, or you can open this on a third-party program like Pages or Dropbox, or even email it to yourself. Then we go to the progress card. This shows the data that you're collecting on that child. For example, here we played a flashcard for 3 minutes. We reviewed 10 cards and the child was 80% accurate. Over time, you will see that data being built around this particular child. You can see the total of sessions was just 1 because we just did 1 session. I will leave the sticker page to show later as we get to practice the second activity with a different child. In this case, I'm going to select Victor here. We're going to take a look at Find It. You get the same option of regular or irregular verbs. I'm going to just leave the regular verb selected. And here I get to choose if I want to practice present tense, present progressive at the phrase level.
He is shaving his face.
The child now is required to select the image equivalent to that phrase that was just produced. You can allow the child to listen to that phrase again.
He is shaving his face.
And then he gets to select the correct image. He then looks at that image again.
He is showing his money.
And he moves to the second set.
Yesterday, he sprayed it. She talked loudly.
If the student gets to select a wrong answer, we just remove that image to not give them any positive reinforcement for selecting the incorrect response. As you can see,
She locked the safe last week.
on the left side, you can see these stars, and they are equivalent to the number of times
She smelled it yesterday.
the child was able to identify the sentence, the image related to that sentence. And as they get 10, they get to unlock a
He is
sentence.
delivering pizzas. She is cycling. He hammered the stone earlier. She knitted yesterday. Yesterday, she jumped.
So they unlocked here a sticker, Power Level 3, Cheering Charlotte. And as they go, if I click done, and I'm going to show you the stickers. And here, the students get to collect these stickers. As you can see, I just unlocked this Power Level 3, Cheering Charlotte. This is a super fun motivator for children that are learning to work to identify verbs. You can find iPractice Verbs for iPad and iPhone on the App Store by searching our company name, Smarty Ears. Thank you so much for watching. and I hope you truly enjoy helping your child succeed.